we actually have reverse lights. Good morning, welcome back. Today, I'm gonna work on checking all the lights. I've already gone around to see which lights are working, which are not. And there are a lot of lights that are not working on this. See what we got here in the back. I went around and labeled them. Put some tape on which ones work, which ones don't. So we actually, one marker light there. Yep. So there are a lot of lights that aren't working. This one I was playing with when I was testing. It actually works. But so get started taking things apart and get the lights fixed. Before that, quick update on the brakes. So I do need to get some new hoses with a bulkhead fitting. So I have to get some hoses made up there, and here it is. And a brake line. Broke a brake line getting it apart, twisted it right off. So I'll either get one made up or I'll get the flaring tools. I don't have a double flare. So I may just have a shop make that. It'll be cheaper than me buying a double flare for a one-time use until I break the next one. And then I'll get a double flare tool and then I'll have it. I wish I would have bought it in the beginning. So I'll get you put up here on the tripod. I'll get to work taking lights off. I debated about going LED bulbs. So what would you do? Would you replace all your turn signal marker lights with LED bulbs, or stick with the standard incandescent, which won't last as long? But the reality is this truck's not going to be used a lot at night. Maybe a sunset time, but not too much at night. So I'm leaning just do incandescent bulbs. They're cheaper. You don't have to worry about any of the electronics that run the LED bulb. And granted, there are some that have built in, like for the headlights. This 7-inch round headlight. I'm kind of hoping that the parts store has it, but I'm also thinking it's probably going to be a special order because there aren't very many vehicles that use a big 7-inch round light bulbs anymore. I'm going to replace all these so they're all the same. What I've found sometimes is you'll go and replace one, and the side that you did not replace because it still worked is much dimmer. I don't see why incandescent with the filament in there get dimmer. They do. LED bulbs do over time. I didn't realize the incandescent also does. So today we are early February, and yesterday was upper 50s for temps. Sunshine. This morning it was overcast, and it is clearing out now. You may not be able to see it, but we did replace the, oh yeah, it's visible. The clear panels up at the top, we had those replaced, and I can actually see the clouds now. Before they were all yellow and dirty and couldn't see out, so I had that explains why that one doesn't work. And they were brittle. The panels were brittle, and the wind would catch it and they would start fluttering and they would break. There were pieces broken. So got a hold of a guy from the Mennonite slash, not sure Amish or Mennonite, but he came out and took care of that for me. So here's why this bulb doesn't work. Yeah, not supposed to do that. I really like these old vehicles. Nowadays, this would all be plastic and it would get brittle after about 10 years. This might be rugged. It might be heavy steel. That's okay. It works. It's like it's still warm. So this vehicle is a 1971, and mud dauber nests. There were a lot in there. I had those covers off some time ago. 1971. It's obviously been stuck. They hooked probably chains up to this and pulled it through the mud out in a wheat field somewhere, but it would be interesting. 1971, so 50 years old, 56. I would be interested to see a 2021 vehicle in 56 years, what kind of condition it's in. I have a feeling it would not exist, because when you got metal parts like this, you can fabricate up sheet metal to replace something that you needed to. Basic engine with carburetor, no electronics running anything. The only electronics are going to be some, I really wouldn't even consider them electronics. It would be a relay, and then the turn signal indicator, blinker, flasher unit. All right, get the cab lights. I get cab lights on my pickup truck. People make fun of me. What do you think? You're a big truck? No, I just like them. Clearance lights, cab lights, whichever you want to call them. Impressively, coming out pretty easily. Not bad, not rusted underneath. And the little rubber gasket is not extremely brittle. That's impressive. I will clean up underneath these, and I'll coat with some WD-40, and then I might put a really thin bead of silicone and then mount that rubber down and leave it down, then just remove the caps if need be to replace a bulb. That would keep any future rust from getting in there. And these cab, I think the tiny little balls, these are ones I'll probably just buy a case of them. It'll be easier. Fire trucks running by. Sounds like sheriff's car right there. Nope, rescue. There's a road just down from us that have a lot of people that run the red light, stoplight. It's got a flashing light there. A lot of people run that. All right, so there's the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those little bulbs, 2 blinker bulbs, 2 headlights. Okay, working on the rear lights. These are most important. Not so much that going to be working at night at all, but this is the brake and turn signals. So I want to make sure these work. Now, here's what I'm looking at. Here's what I'm dealing with. If you can see it, there you go. They're all different. In the back, every single light is different. So there's this side. These are okay. The marker lights are okay. But it's these and the ones down below. They're all different. You can see those. And this one's a double-sided, so I'm sure they're functioning. Now, I could make it work as is. It's probably just bulbs or clean up some wiring. Or should I put in all the same? All the same, because they all connect differently. What would you do? Put it in comments. These are going to be okay, just bulbs. But the tail lights with the turn signals, what would you do? Would you replace them, make them all the same so they match with the same bulbs and stuff, or would you just make them work with what you got? One way's cheaper than the other. One way's got more consistency. I tend to lean towards consistency, but this is also a 1971 truck that's not going to see much nighttime use. Just going to be scrap yard and lumber yard runs and maybe parts with the flatbed. What's broken in there is, so these terminals here, one's for tail light, one's for the turn signal or brake, so it makes it brighter. The contact in that socket is broken clean off, so that explains why it's not going to work. So, yep, need a new fixture. There we go. Loosen up easily. You're an airplane. Actually, it's not an airplane, it's a dirt bike. Having the toolbox organized with the foam inserts from Trace My Space is phenomenal. For years, like most home shops, you're just digging through a drawer full of wrenches. I've tried wrench holders. They didn't work too well. Since they tend to be so high, sometimes the drawer wouldn't close, or you had to use a deeper drawer, which was better suited for deeper items. I see that fixing to fall. Trace My Space foam inserts were expensive. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot, but the fit is phenomenal. Reminds me of the my years with the Air Force, where tool control was very important. In fact, you had a checkout system, and your employee number was used when you checked out a tool. And at the end of the shift, you had to return all those tools before you could go home. Mud dauber. I see what might be causing some of these issues. So the grounds were to the steel and it's just corroded. It don't matter how tight you make it, once corrosion gets between, it creates too much resistance and stuff won't work. So aviation, when we have a ground, sometimes it's an eyelet just like that, depending on the model airplane. It's got to be clean. You bond it, you secure the fastener, and then prevent corrosion, you encapsulate it with a sealant. B-half, B2, it's all 3M type products. So lights are apart. I'm gonna take the bulbs out of these and see what the sockets look like, and then it's gonna be lunchtime. Right after lunch, gonna go get some light bulbs, and the car's getting an oil change. So see you after lunch. Next up is replacing the reverse switch or neutral switch. So that's right here, located on the top left of the transmission. And what this switch has, just 2 wires, just a simple contactor. So when it's in reverse, makes a contact, allows the wires carry a signal back to the reverse lights. So that switch down here has a broken terminal, so I'm going to put a new one in. Stand by. The switch is in and wired up. Next is going to be finish up the lights in the back. So here's a little tip for you if you're working on old trucks. Glass cleaner bottle, can. Holds the floorboard up really well. All right, so the 71 GMC, it's all up and going. Give you a quick rundown of everything that we did. New headlights. New bulbs are on the front. New master cylinder. New wiring for the rear the lights at the rear. Got a new air filter, a new fuel filter, new oil filter, topped off the antifreeze. Side marker lights work. Marker lights on the bed work. Here's a peek in the bed. It's a nice bed. I kind of don't want to get it trashed out, but tire pressure is all checked and taken care of. Front brakes, brake drums have been turned. Wheel cylinders have been rebuilt. New brake lines on the front, the hoses. Inside here, all the electrical is tucked back up in there, and it should fire right up. There it goes. Yeah. This is it's kind of an 8-speed. It's got high-low rear end, 4-speed in reverse. Oil pressure is good. Fuel gauge works. Temperature gauge works, cold, and it's charging. Speedometer even works. The old AM radio does not work, and the heat does not work. That's okay. This is a different seat than what was originally in here. It sits a little forward, but it's all good. So there it is. There's the 71 grain truck. It's not the best vehicle on the road, but this is going to work for everything that we need to do. We'll probably do a trash run first. Pick up a tarp maybe this weekend, and we'll start designing something for the rear to make it a little easier to dump. So, thanks for following along on the rebuild of the old GMC 5500. And coming up next is going to be a little surprise for Wingit Airfield. We got another piece of equipment showing up on Sunday. Today is Friday, April 3rd. I think it's April 3rd, 2026. So we've got some new equipment coming on Sunday. And after that, we're going to get busy out here cleaning up the trash that's over there. Hayfield's coming along really nice out there. And we're going to do some tree trimming. So thanks for following along. I hope you enjoyed this green truck maintenance update. Get it safe for the road. And we'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching.